What's up, everybody? It's Andrew coming back at you with another episode of the Jaguar podcast, and we have a lot to talk about today. The Jags have a new EVP of football operations, a new GM, and a new coaching staff for 2025. So let's jump into it. Before we start, though, show some love, hit that subscribe button, support my work. It's free. I really appreciate it. And if you could hit that like button too, helps you with the YouTube algorithm. Really appreciate that. Okay, so the Jags have a new EVP of football operations. That's Tony Boselli. And I love this hire. And for those who are not familiar with Tony Boselli, he is a phenomenal talent, was one of the best left tackles to ever play the game, and was the first draft pick for the Jaguars and the first Hall of Famer for the Jaguars. Hopefully we get more there. Hope Freddie T gets in next, or maybe Jimmy Smith. But he was just really fun to watch, an amazing talent, shut down really talented defensive players like Bruce Smith. I don't know if you all ever watched that game. I guess maybe some old-time Jags fans here. The 96 wild card game against Buffalo Bills. Boselli shut down Bruce Smith, made him a non-factor in that game and totally dominated him. You know, just being a second-year player there in the league, and Smith just a phenomenal talent and Hall of Famer. So, yeah, he had some great games. Standout player, a leader on the offensive line. Unfortunately, his career was shortened due to injuries. I think he had a shoulder injury that ultimately kind of ended his career. But the guy bleeds and breathes teal and black. He's a great football mind, and we need that in the front office, which I think has been lacking there, over the past years. And I think he's very blunt too, and to the point. And I think he doesn't sugarcoat things. And I've noticed that when he's calling games, or on his I think he does like a happy hour show for the Jaguars with Pete Prisco. And he just kind of tells it how it is. But yeah, I love this for the Jaguars. Super excited about it. I'll give this an A+ grade for front office hire. And then we go next to general manager. So we hired James Gladstone. That was announced last night since the recording of this video. So pretty recent. I'm really excited about this hire as well. He was the college scouting, I think, lead or head of college scouting for the LA Rams. Has been there for several years, had some great draft picks with Cooper Kupp, Nikau, the other wide receiver they have that's a great talent. And then drafted, I think, Jared Verse and Avila and some of the other defensive linemen there that have been key contributors for the Rams, and brings a fresh perspective and different kind of skills there. Is young, and I think is going to bring a fresh perspective there to the Jaguars. Has some scouting talent, so I think we need that too as well. We haven't drafted very well in the past. Hopefully we can change that. Hopefully Gladstone and Boselli kind of put their heads together and draft some interior offensive linemen, which we really need, especially since Brandon Sheriff isn't getting any younger, might not even come back. We'll see if the Jaguars re-sign him. But we need to draft some guards and centers for the Jaguars. We need secondary help too. Hopefully we draft a corner in the first round and some help there in the secondary at safety, since Andre Cisco will likely, I don't see the Jaguars re-signing him. Hasn't been playing up to expectations. So they might let him walk, since he's up for contract. But that's what I think we need to ultimately address, and I think Gladstone will hopefully address those concern areas or position areas. But I'll give this an A for a grade there, and really excited to have him on as the GM. And then we go to the coaching staff. We have a new coaching staff for 2025. So Liam Cohen was, hired as our head coach, and he went out and got a pretty decent staff here. So we'll start offensively with Grant Udinski. He is the offensive coordinator for the Jaguars. His background is, he came from Minnesota. He was, I believe, the quarterback's coach over there. Did a great job with Sam Darnold last season. They went 11-6, and I guess Sam Darnold's pulling a Geno Smith. Time will tell, but he had a hell of a season, played really well, and stepped up after their quarterback. I'm forgetting his name, but they drafted him in the first round out of Michigan. He had an unfortunate season ending injury there. I think it was an ACL tear or something, but Darnold played his ass off, and all season. I know we almost beat them in Jacksonville, but I think he had a really good season. So I like what Udinski's done over there. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, but I like that hire. For QB coach, we have Spencer Whipple. He's out of Arizona. Worked with Kyler Murray. I like this hire. I guess the Arizona Cardinals didn't have a very good season this year, but I think he's done some good stuff there with Kyler Murray. So I think Trevor needs some help, and hopefully he can bring a lot to the table here with Trevor Lawrence. Passing game coordinator, I think this is Shane Waldron from Chicago. I don't like this hire. I don't think Chicago did well, with Caleb Williams in the passing game. So I don't know about this one. I'm a little iffy on this hire. And then we go to, I think, tight ends coach with Rich Angula. He's returning. He's been with the Jaguars for a few years now. Did a great job, coaching up Evan Ingram, who's been phenomenal for the Jaguars, even though, he had kind of a down year. And I don't even know if I would call it a down year just because of injuries. His season was shortened. But I like bringing Angulo back for the Jaguars. So, and then we'll go to defense. And as our defensive coordinator, rather, we have Anthony Campanelli. I like this hire. He was over with Green Bay Packers. He was the linebackers coach. And I think they did pretty well over there. I think he brings a lot of intensity to the defense. I'm hoping that he brings some violence to the Jaguars defense that needs it. I mean, I don't feel like we're really feared as a defense. Hopefully we can go back to our days of Jacksonville. But this defense needs some violence and some intensity, and I'm hoping he can bring it to the Jaguars defense. He's a Jersey guy. He seems like he's pretty intense, and I like this. So I like this hire. We go next to defensive line coach Matt Edwards out of Buffalo, and I like this hire. I think he's done a great job there with Rousseau and that defensive line, and we need help there, man. We need an interior pass rush. We drafted some guys like we got D Ham, we got Mason Smith out of LSU, who was one of the bright spots there late in the season. Better late than never. I don't know why we didn't play him, more this season, but that's a whole nother story. But I think he's going to bring a lot to this defensive line, which has talent, I think. Everybody's talking about drafting this guy out of Michigan. I'm forgetting his name right now. But I think we have the talent there if we move Armstead inside and utilize D Ham and Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson. I think we can stop the run and get some interior pressure there. But I think this is a good hire. I like Edwards out of Buffalo. Then we go to defensive backs coach, rather. We have Anthony Perkins out of Green Bay. He was the quality control coach over there. I like this hire. I think he did a pretty good job there over in Green Bay. Their defense looked pretty solid, along with Campanelli. So yeah, I like this hire as well. What do you guys think? Right? I mean, I'm going to give this a B for the staff grade. I like it. I think it's pretty good overall. But yeah, how do you guys feel about the staff? You guys let me know how you feel. Leave me a comment on the YouTube video or podcast episode. But I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you next time.